survivors. Just getting back from seeing my mom, so a little rushed. Logged in on time, barely. But it's going to be a really fun topic today. We're going to talk about some kind of cool things. But on my way home, I was thinking a couple different analogies. I almost hit a couple deer. And so it stimulated something in my mind that the narcissist is almost like the hunter. And we are curious about this new supply. Are they somebody better than us? So just like a hunter, there was two main deer that stuck out, and I could have hit either one. I was so close to it. And I had started thinking one was a little bit bigger, but the other one, it would have just been, if I was a hunter for the meat, either one would have served its purpose. So when we're comparing ourselves to the new supply, it's just a hunter on the prowl trying to get what they want. Either will suffice. And there was another analogy. I'll have to think about it. It'll pop in my head. But the new supply is just a different supply. So thank you for that thumbs up. I already got a thumbs up. I appreciate that. But monkey branching is when they secure their second supply like a wolf. Exactly. They are just on the prowl. Doesn't matter. They just want that meat. And they look at us like meat, and all, or as a target, just a target. So luckily I made it home safe, didn't hit any deer, and good to see you. We have somebody else who joined us too. I love seeing you guys. So update on mom. Mom's doing really well. I enjoyed the time with her today. And that's when love really matters. She's older. She's in a rehabilitation center, and my sisters, myself are going out and visiting her, helping with her emotional, mental stability. Also, just helping her be stronger. So, yes, it is definitely good that she's doing well. I'm trying to remember the other analogy I wanted to tell you guys about. Uh, but the more I study this, it's like the exchange of energy. And I know what it was. I had seen a video about bees. Now, the drone bees are the male bees. And it was hard to understand because I was driving, but it was like every 2 years. I'm not exactly sure if that's correct, but the queen bee goes out on the prowl for some little babies. So she goes into this huge pile up 100 feet above the ground and sees this big old colony, this of drone bees, and she mates with about 15 of them. She has enough sperm for the rest of her life, and it was really interesting that she targets the stronger ones, and which makes sense, to make up for things. And so she has enough sperm, and the male, it like rips out some part of his body and he dies instantly. So it kind of got me thinking, that um, I don't want us wasting our lives to where, we give up our life for somebody who doesn't see us as anything but a means to an end. So I'd like us to start healing. The exchange of energy is so important. And John, how was your day? What was some of the things that you were doing? Because a lot of us do compare ourselves to the new supply, and um, the stronger we are, the better everything falls into place. I also just heard too that it's kind of interesting. Borderline personality. A lot of times that's more female than male. It's very close to narcissism. And I want to do a video on the correlation of how close that they are. I do have some videos somewhat comparing them, but I want to dive into it a little bit more because it's almost close enough that is it just a misdiagnosis, that it's one and the same. But females, we do have a little bit different traits. So we're a little bit of a weaker sex. So is it just us? I need to dive into that a little bit more. But it was interesting, according to Dr. Grande, that it is 10% of the population has a personality disorder. So a borderline, you would think it would make sense if it's 10% of the population, a borderline would have a 10% chance of her, it could be his mate, having a personality disorder. But it is an astounding 56% of borderline personality people have a mate that is 50% 56% chance that they have a personality disorder. And you see, toxic people are drawn to toxic people. And, I'm also trying to understand the depth of love. What makes us love somebody more than somebody else? There is that chemistry, connection, pheromones, all that kind of stuff. Also, hoping for the life that we wanted, whether we want to be high status or popular or whatever it is that we wanted in life. But I talked about the micro traumas, and I started thinking a little bit more. It could even be just like the little micro needs that we need. Because I was thinking about the kids that I have at school. Why do some of them stand out more and touch my heart more than others? And love is illusion, is what JG says. JG, expand on that. Why do you think love is an illusion? John says that neighbor that had to go to court was trying to intimidate me and my other friend that showed up. He was banging on my friend's window and he deliberately left the main door open with a wad of paper. or GF, oh my gosh. Uh, you confuse me. There is that one woman who does sell that. Last night, hi, we got to say hi to Samantha. We got GF and John, JG in the room. But remember that guy Eric last night who ended up saying that his real name is Brooke? I'm starting to put the pieces together. He, I think, is my second case of mistaken identity. If you remember, I think it was Lily that pointed it out. I had that one person in live chat who had said that I sounded like I was being hypocritical that I abused 2 of my kids. I don't even have 2 kids. So I knew it was somebody different, and I think it was cluster B. I showed you guys. Nobody commented if you thought that we looked at least a little similar, but that was my guess. Calibri is joining us, and good to have you here. So the mistaken identity, if I Calibri, I think you were in the chat too when that happened. He was coming at me. He had some animosity towards me. And Lily, that guy Eric, who said it was Brooke, he said that you like to cook, but he spelled your name L-E, what was it Leelea? I think it was the other way, Lealee. But he was very hard to follow because, little misspellings like that, if you spelled it the right way, I knew he was talking about you. Is he talking about somebody else? But he kept asking about this Julie and this Kim. He said that I was obligated to give him 15 minutes of my time. And then he asked me if I was going to call him out as a narcissist, but then he was kind of nasty. I think it was a mistaken identity. He's got a beef with someone because he kept saying if I was the same person. I posted that picture of a filter that looked like my sister, and then I usually use my own things. So I think that filter he thought was hospice nurse Julie. He kept bringing up some hospice thing, and I've posted things about the death of my dad, and then also my mom being in like rehabilitation. So I was really confused on what he was talking about. He won't answer my questions, so I could help him, or we can kind of figure this out. And he was ridiculous. And I deal with English as a second language people all the time and I can figure him out. I don't think he has an English barrier, especially based on his last name. You can't always do that, but I think so too. And it was weird. He wanted me to call him out so he could attack me, and then of course he says I'm a narcissist. And yeah, but Lily, he brought up said that you're a great cook. You love my recent video shorts. That's just because you see me in bed. There's one where uh, I have a feeling he will. I have a feeling he will. If he gives us a hard time, I'll have to block him because I don't know. He's on the attack. I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is. I think he thinks I'm somebody else. He's like, I'm convinced that he says, what did you, uh, something about me? I know his ex-partner. Now I'm straight up heterosexual, and it sounds like because he said something about his ex-partner and what did you and her. So I don't know if he just means like a friend. And I know like exactly I don't look exactly like her. Um, but either way, just another blonde. Sometimes people just mix up long blonde hair. They don't really look at the faces. Um, and John says he might show up. I would block him if necessary. And Crazy Bear, you mentioned something about maple syrup. Um, so I just wanna get to the bottom of it, and that's the thing. He probably is a narcissist because they don't put 2 and 2 together when I'm like, "Dude, I don't know who you are, explain it." They don't wanna explain it, they just wanna bitch. And it's like, I'm willing to give you your answers. So, I hope everybody has had a fantastic day. I saw my mom, she's doing much better. But yeah, that was kind of a trip. And then I don't know. You catch more bees with honey. So coming at me, attacking me, and I'm willing to answer the questions, but it was insane. So John says my neighbor downstairs did just to mess with me. He shoved a partial roll of toilet paper under the door to jam it wide open. Free toilet paper. And white hair, how was the chicken? If you're talking white hair, the cluster B, are you talking about, she has a support puppet, Mr. Chicken. Is that what you're talking about? Um, yeah, it was a long drive. I ended up, getting, like, a little tired. I think you missed it, Lily. I almost hit a couple deer on the way home. That's the one thing that's real dangerous about going to see my mom is it's way in the backwoods. So there's a lot of deer. And one year I hit 4 deer in 1 year. So luckily I made it home safe. I think what the problem is I turn my overhead light on for some reason. I see better with the overhead light on. I don't know why, but I think my mind makes it as there's not like a disconnect in space. Uh, but you set a firework off in a homeless guy's pocket. I hope not. I hope not. So, GF, we're kind of having a serious discussion. So, let's keep it kind and supportive, and that's what we need for this live chat. Deer whistles, they do work. Yeah, I had this one guy, this is his flirting with me. He, gave me this paper bag, and it had 1 deer whistle in it, like, that you put on your car, and he said he'd give me the other one if I met up with him for lunch, and I never did, but I'm like, "If you're that concerned, you're gonna wanna make sure that it works." I don't know if for sure if you need to, but it was a weird weirdest pickup line. "I'll give you another deer whistle," but just like I'm not saying he was a it was a control thing, so it's kinda narcissistic if you think about it. You do what I want, I give you the rest of your gift, and, it's all about control, you know? But he was creative, but John, that's not funny. John, go to the corner. You need to go to the timeout corner for 2 minutes. Or how old are you? It's a minute for every year you are. But, um like I said with that deer example, that it's just another person. And um, Lily says, I can't drive long distances anymore because of nodding off. It's getting harder. I used to be able to drive from Michigan all the way down to Florida without stopping, like 24 hours. And yeah, now it's like 2 hours. You came very close one time. Ooh, I used to drive 3 hours to, I'm not how to say it, Pioche, Nevada. I'm thinking Pioche, to do court hearings, and that was the nodding off started the morning sun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no stop. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for me. I was so excited about getting there. But now just going down to Tennessee to see my daughter, which is like a 9-10 hour drive, I have to take naps. I can't even make it 10 hours anymore. Sometimes I can, but it's just miserable. I had it once when I came back. I was pretty sick. It was like 30 hours I was in the car because I kept taking naps. But yeah, I used to travel so much. I'm real burnt out on traveling. I had it once where I was in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, had to go all the way up to Fargo, North Dakota, and then go back. And yeah, coming from Michigan, like And that was all within like a week and a half. It was too much. Love is real when it's the priority. It becomes an illusion when it takes a back seat. I love how you said that. You're right. And why does it become a back seat? And small mining town. And I did say it right. Yay. Um, M- Mackinac Bridge. The Mackinac Bridge. Do you remember that Yugo? I'm thinking, yeah, that was Mackinac, or was it Canada to over Detroit to Canada? Was it the Yugo? Do you guys remember the Yugo? I think it was Mackinac Bridge. I haven't been on that bridge in 44 years, something like that. Yeah, and John saying, good point, JG. I really do like the way you said it. Samantha says, JG, you have a point, my friend. It's not your words. Oh, who said it? Do you remember? It's great words though, and I'm glad you shared it. And that's what's nice. JG's willing to say, those aren't my words. A narcissist would be like, yep, I know, stroking my ego. So good job, JG. You passed the non-narcissistic test. Lily says one of the cops in court said, eat sunflower seeds to stay awake. It works. You end up steering with your knee, eating the seeds. No, it doesn't work because I did that one time, not under advice, but under, I'm going to be on a diet and I'm going to eat healthy. And all I had was shelled sunflower seeds. And I don't know how to eat those. I ate the shells and everything. I don't think you're supposed to do it. I had the worst upset stomach. But are you talking, are you supposed to like open them? I don't know. But it hurts your stomach. I wouldn't mind it if they had the, peeled ones. That's like me. Like I probably would eat pistachio nuts with the shells on it. Those are always fun, dude. My grandma used to have them. We put them on our nails. Uh, so it does help though, huh, Lily? JG says, John, get a laser and laser him. Oh, such anima. JG, you're gonna have to go back to non-narcissistic school. You just passed, and now I'm rethinking this. Just teasing you guys. Yes, JG. What is love? Ooh, inquiring minds want to know. Samantha says, honest JG. Lily says, I have definitely fallen in love with love. I like that. And yes, he's like, yeah, bimbo. Yeah, open them. My stomach hurts so bad. Uh, pasties, not pauses. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you sent me an email. Okay, I just literally got home. I had 6 minutes to let Dixie out, and it takes 5 minutes to set this up. And then yeah, so I will have to look at that lately. Oh, because I was thinking about it. My hair's getting dark. Is that what it was about? My beauty email. Samantha says, makes me think of that song. What is love? What is love? And Lily says, me too, Sam. Because JJ chew gum keeps you going, no seed mess, and no upset stomach. If actually that's not true. I like sugar-free gum, and because of the maltitol or some of the sugar-free stuff, look out for maltitol. If you have any sugar-free stuff, it's really going to mess with your stomach. If you have over 15 gram, I think it's grams, 15 whatevers, um, it'll really upset. I don't know if it's grams, but yeah, 15 whatevers, it'll upset your stomach. Lily says, yeah, but your hair looks great. What do you guys think? Lighten it. I've always been a blonde and it's just starting to get darker. I don't know. So thank you. Lighten it, guys, or keep it dark. John says my gerb, because I don't know. It used to be like so much lighter. I got rust in my water here too, so that kind of changes it. John says my gerbils love sunflower seeds. Now, are they smart? Do they take it out of the shell? Kalibi says you need to. I had no clue. I'm like, this is the best diet, only 100 calories, and oh, I was miserable. Samantha says rolling down the windows helps. It definitely does. Crazy Bear says more sunlight. And that's the truth because when I was driving through the night, I'd start getting real tired around 4 or 5 o'clock. And as soon as that sun came up, it reinvigorated me and I could go so much further. Yeah, I think it needs something because it's kind of got me depressed. Not really, but it's just not me. I was a white blonde child, really light hair, and natural blonde, but it's starting to get dark. Yeah, guys, what do you think? Should I lighten it? Should I look more like Cluster B and get a support puppet? um, Steva sweetener. I don't like Steva. Is it stevia? I don't know if it's stevia or stevia, but I didn't like it. I tried it a couple times and I like saccharin. I will risk like that never upset my stomach. And I'm living proof you won't get cancer from it because of how much I had. Besides, then you can sing your who is it? She's my cherry pie. Sweet taste of saccharin. Saccharin. John says, I hate when you're driving in the snow and it sometimes disorients you. Have you ever had it where the snow is coming at your face and it almost looks like a funnel tunnel and it starts hypnotizing you? That can be dangerous too. Um, so, Sam, I'm asking what you would like. You have to look at me. As long as I'm not looking in a camera in a mirror, I can't see myself. I know I definitely need the tanning booth. I used to always be tan. I was always tan. And I had in high school, it was so bad. I would go tanning on my lunch break and I had this burn, a real, not severe, but it was like a super red, a good first degree burn and not second, then bubble up and have blisters or anything. But this one guy, he was like so rude to me. He's like, "Who died?" And of course, in high school, you got to have your little comeback. And I'm like, my dad. He felt so bad, but I'm like, don't be a jerk to me because my face was all red. And if somebody did die, like he was really rude. So that was my comeback. But I'm glad my uncle had passed away. This is why we have to really watch what we say to people. My uncle had I don't know if you guys heard about it, 4 Ford executives who died in a plane crash. And my grandfather had called at I want to say like 11:30 at night and I almost said, "Who died?" Because we never got calls after 10 o'clock. I'm so glad I didn't say who died, just being a little smart aleck because he was calling to talk to my mom about it. So watch our words sometimes. We never know. Like they say, you never know what somebody else is going through. Sometimes sarcasm can hurt people. I had another time too where I was talking to this one guy, and this was way when I was younger, but I was a little bimbo, sometimes didn't always know what to say. So I'm just like, oh, but we have something in common. We both have 10 toes. And yeah, he only had 9. Um, and then I think I tried to, I can't remember. But yeah, you never know. Lily says, "Gosh, John, driving in snow is so scary. Driving on ice is even worse." But you say you've lived in Denver for 4 years and Kansas City, Missouri for 2 years. You'll stick to Florida. Yeah, Florida is a lot safer except during like hurricane season. You're close to the coast though, aren't you? You're in Boca Raton? Am I remembering correctly? The worst water storm. It wasn't a hurricane. I don't even know. I don't think it was a tropical storm, but it just came down. I believe I was in Fort Lauderdale and you could not see. It was like you were driving in water, not through water. I had it one time too in Michigan where you saw walls of water coming at you. That's when I was caught in the middle of a tornado. That was scary. It came down so fast, my car started rising within just 40 seconds or something. It was insane. Um, it's tempting to say get a mohawk. That's kind of, wouldn't that be crazy? Look, to have a mohawk way up there. And in high school, people use mop and glow. The guy with the best mohawk used mop and glow. Some people use like smushed up soap, like ivory soap or whatever soap, Dove soap, smushed in water where it kind of melts. My hair in Mexico would be very blonde. Yeah, just comparatively. JG, Lily, let's not meet. Lily, driving in bad rain is nothing. Yeah, but I'm talking, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I'm talking where it was like you were in water. But yeah, I can handle the rainstorms. Um, so yeah, Florida is a lot safer that way. Samantha says, as your sister, I think you look great, but I heard I say you feel like lightening it, so you should do what makes you happy. Yeah, and, yeah, you're um, picking up on what I want. I do want it lighter. I just don't wanna spend the time. It's so long now that it's gonna be hours. I get nervous if it gets messed up. Lily says, "JG, you're a meanie." Mhm. Yep, and we got that timeout corner. I forgot to open Dixie TV again. Poor dog. Uh, oh, JG, you met a lady today. A lady friend or just a lady? I met a lady too. So, JG, what's your story? Uh, Crazy Bear, time travelers all are we. Some people think maybe some people believe in uh, reincarnation sometimes too. And Lily, what's your and that he doesn't want to meet up with you? Is that what your and's for? Kalibi says just get a shorter cut, maybe shoulder length. Would you like that better shoulder length? I think that makes me look taller. There, Like, there, little Pippi Longstocking. What would that look like? I never liked it when my hair was short. There. Does that look better? A little shorter? Just keep looking at me and smiling. Oh, I can do that. I think she wants the love. Me? I just want the advice. Unless you're talking about the lady you met today. The love. Are you talking about the love? If so, type out THEE so I know you're talking about the love. Crazy Bear says 30 days in the black, in the whole black. I'm confused. Lily says, "Oh, baby, why didn't you ask her out?" Yeah. Did you ask her out? Tell us the scoop. JG to Lily, because I'm hot and heavy for you. Plus, she was a cop. Oh, so he's hot and heavy for you, Lily. And she was a cop. And JG probably has a past. Solitary. Solidarity or solitary confinement. Attempt to drive you nuts in a hole. And yeah, that's the thing too. We need stimulation. I have a video on it too if you want to know more about it. But sensory deprivation can actually make you go crazy. I look even. I know that's what my daughter tells me that I would look younger with shorter hair. I know. It's starting to drag me down. It's a little too heavy up in here, and I just don't know what to do with it. It's like I like my hair, but I don't think it goes with my face right now. Lily says, I think I got hit on today. The guy at the pizza place looked just like AG from Aaron. Wait, AG. What is AG? Who is AG? Is that just what he goes by? From Backstreet Boys. I'm thinking Aaron Carter. He passed away too, right? And I told him, and then I said, I love them. And he said, you know where I am. In the back street. Is he the blonde one? Crazy Bear, humble pie, 30 days in the hole. That's a good way to put it. Humble pie. Lily says, no, not shorter. I won't cut it shorter. There's one lady who she has 4 foot hair, and I'm kind of like, I want to do that. I do. I want to set a world record, tall or longest hair without touching the ground from head to ground, just because I'm so tall. There's women who have hair that would probably reach my stair landing. But yeah, thank you, Lily. You're that's what I'm thinking. Samantha says, "Ooh, JT, we got to meet her. She's got to pass the friend test." So we will be there. And Samantha says, "Oh, sweet Lily, AJ McLean." Okay, thank you. I know who the Backstreet Boys are, though. Kalibi says, yes, maybe get a cut and mild perm. I just got to leave it wet and crunch it. If it's shorter, I don't need a perm necessarily to make it look like that. But yeah, okay. I saw that 4 foot hair lady. She's like, okay, I'll cut my hair. And she just did like just a little. She's like, that was really hard to do. You did 365 days in the whole black to natural light. You did a whole year. So what's your story? What's your story? Why would you go 365 days in the hole? Rock your body. That's a good song. All the Backstreet Boys are hunks and Crystal Gale. Yeah, Crystal Gale. Exactly. The long hair. Loretta Lynn's sister. Did you really have dinner with Crystal Gale? Um, JG says, crazy. I bet you've done 365 acid trips. Who are you talking to? You talking to me? Maybe 365 days of acid trips after eating those sunflowers with the shells. Oh, JG, don't be nuts and say that. Samantha says, I had Backstreet Boys poster as a young. What do you guys think? Who do you think I had? Who do you think I had? Cannabis in Kentucky. We're behaving. JG says Backstreet Boys were corny. Glad I grew up on Hendrix. Got a little Jimmy going, huh? Yeah, I get that. I almost bought a guitar yesterday. I think I told you that. And my friend that I went to that antique shop with sent me a really cool picture of. Let me see if I can show you guys. It's the guitar that I think I want to get. All of a sudden, I think I need to entertain you guys during these live chats with some Taylor Swift songs or something. Grab up. Let's see if I can find it. It's beautiful, though. I really want this guitar. So feel free, if everybody donates $5 right now, you can donate to this guitar. Can you see it? You can't see it. It's clear and it has like flowers through it. Can you kind of see it? It's acrylic with just like some flowers. You can't see it too good, but that's the new useless purchase that I'm going after. Some Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I still remember one girl at church camp was saying, we were all talking about God, and she related it to Bon Jovi. And I think she misunderstood. Like living on a religious prayer that everything's going to be okay, as opposed to like, oh my God, am I going to make it through life? That kind of living on a prayer. But my hair could be like Bon Jovi's if I cut it just a little. Crystal, is her hair gray now? I think I'm doing pretty good. 52, and I don't know if I really have gray hair. The 80s music is great, Samantha. So cool. We'll get along. JG. Oh, getting feisty. See, he does have a crush on you. And that's what they tell you. We got to be really careful what we teach our kids. Thank you you guys are awesome on those thumbs up, helping with my algorithm. But, in elementary school, we're taught, oh, you're being teased just because they like you. And some people grow up believing that, when people cut you down, and there is like the playfulness, like we're kind of being playful with each other, me teasing John that he's got to go in the corner. He knows he doesn't have to. There is some playfulness about it. Talking about Def Leppard. My ex really liked Def Leppard. Heard a lot of it when I was pregnant, and it was really interesting. Oh, no. Yeah, it was not Def Leppard. Pink Floyd, sorry, but that stimulated something in my head. So Pink Floyd, my daughter reacted to that after she was born, and that's why with the things that happen to us when we're in utero, we had a couple people log out. I think we're chit-chatting a little too much. We're getting off topic. I sent Cynthia pics to send JG. Okay, cool. Samantha says, I am not a Pink Floyd fan. Ickies. And that's okay if you're not. Aerosmith, Foreigner, all good songs or groups. JG, I grew up watching the VH1. I love the 80s series. And then VH1. And Samantha and JG, she says, I did too, JG, and we're the same age. And Calibri says, as long as the teasing is all for fun and nothing like cutting. Exactly. And that's where the difference is the kids aren't going to understand what the difference between healthy and unhealthy, because we're telling them in a sense, it's okay. Don't fight back. Take it. JG says, you didn't send pics. You didn't send Lee pics. You're trying to get a reaction out of. I haven't been, I literally have been overwhelmed. Like my dishes, it's been a day and a half. I need to get to them. My Christmas tree, I've like really been, stretched to the max. So I might be 6'2" now. Kalibi says, and the narcs don't understand. They do it with malicious intent. Yep. And that's where the difference is. Because I was thinking about, with the playfulness and all that stuff, but they do sometimes maliciously do it. They get a kick out of it. And um, really trying to understand them, because there are times, we do things and, we're cleaning up and accidentally put their, you know, keys on a different counter. Um, some books fall on it or something. And we're not trying to hurt them or trying to make them late to work. We feel bad after it. We notice that, yeah, it's good to keep things in order so people can find things, but they'll do it on purpose. If they don't want you going out with their friends, your friends, they'll purposely hide your keys. If they want you to stay home and snuggle all day, they could hide your keys so you can't go to work. Um, JG to Calibri. Are you saying Calibri hates narcissists the most? I wouldn't blame him. Uh, she probably did. She probably did, JG. I'm behind on it. Um, she says she's a girl of her words. And I believe that. I believe that. I checked, I think, last night. I don't think I checked this morning. Maybe it was this, if I checked, it was before noon today. Everything's running together. I got to teach online. Just I've had too many requests over the last month and a half. I've taken a break from my online teaching, and so I had to schedule all that stuff too. Get a laser them. My mom was talking about a laser thermometer where you just point it at the meat and it could tell you the temperature. Lily says my personality might be like SJP, but only one person said I look like her. Oh, Sarah Jessica Parker. Huh. Interesting. At least I caught on to who SJP is. Can you Instagram me the pictures? If I can, I got to make sure my phone can do that. You're thirsty. Behave. Go have something to drink. Maybe take a cold shower too. Lily says, I read and screenshot some good quotes today. Ooh, and that's the thing. We can find inspiration. So there is some good things about the web. And NAMI, North American Mental, I don't think it's institution. It helps people if they need like a support coach. But they, a lot of times on the different, I think there's different Facebooks for the different groups, but they have a lot of inspirational things. You guys should join my Facebook. I'm still, for my a soul survivor, still trying to grow it. It's still kind of confusing. I haven't spent too much time on it. I used to be able to share. It's the same videos. But if you feel like helping me, that should be in my bio. Yeah, and Kalibi, you're so right. As long as it's like a healthy teasing, and if somebody just, and that's the thing too, is I usually, when I tease somebody, I'm like, I'm just kidding, might make them like, and then I let them know, but I've noticed the narcissist, they keep you in that state of confusion. I've talked about my narcissist neighbors. I ended up watching a movie with them. They're saying, because they know I'm naive on that kind of stuff. And, they were saying that this movie just came out, and then they're knowing all I think they're trying to be silly, that just ironically, they know all the letters or words. But you never get the concise answer. Like, did it just come out? And I think it's an old time, a couple years old, but to this day, I don't even know. And, doesn't really matter to me if you keep the situation, the relationship superficial. But when it's somebody in your life and you can't get a straight answer and the answer matters, that's not good. JG says to Sam, thought she might be playing with me. Nope, I believe her. Lila says, oh, Sam, where's Nathan? Yeah, I'm a little later tonight. I was doing a 6 o'clock. So I did post early. So hopefully he got the message. Lily says, no, real pictures, live action. The disappointment in JG's text. Oh, I know I'm a little out of order. JG says, you sent me screenshots of quotes. Narcissist, John says, I've discovered some amazing quotes lately that were helpful. Yeah, if you guys remember any of those, definitely share those because they can be quite inspirational. And so she sent you some pictures, JG. I just haven't forwarded them. I won't be able to do that till tomorrow. So, look what I did. I'm all prepared today. So I will write that down. Send JG Lily's pictures. I can do that. Wang Tong, Wu Tong, Wu Tong, Wu Tong. I don't know what Wu Tong style is. I know what wonton style is. That's delicious. One of my favorite soups. Lily says, I wish we could attach things here, but I'll switch screens and write them down, then type them here. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't mind. I don't mind, but I think they do it out of respect for the moderator, where you guys aren't taking us to different sites and stuff. Kalibi says, I give them the Iggy style and lots of it. The Iggy. Now, there was a cartoon character. It was Iggy, right? And I don't know what the Iggy style is. Could also be what, Instagram style? Samantha says, not sure, Lily. I'm looking for Nathan, though. No, hopefully he'll. Yeah, it's Sunday night. I don't know. Iggy for ignore. Okay. I wasn't jiggy with the Iggy. I didn't know what it meant. Lily says, how was Butthead? how was your husband today, Sam? GF, I punched my neighbor in the face for bad mouthing me. Did you? Sometimes, people do that. So are you being serious or being silly? And oh, Lily, we don't encourage physical violence. The wrath of Garth. And this is the thing, though, is, sometimes bad mouthing is different than a physical threat. And, my degree's in criminal justice. And I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but we're going to have viewers popping in. And there are times we kind of lose our cool. We don't like something, or it does get triggered. But just remember, the courts don't always see the exact truth, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist. They can sway things, turn it around. Also, male, female, they might look at not believing a certain sex or a certain weaker party. They'll look at the taller, bigger person, that it's not worth it. You don't want an assault charge. If you're not like, you can defend equal or lesser. So if you're you can verbally defend yourself, but physical to physical. But there is no physicality in that. So you would get an assault charge in my court. So I don't want you to have that. I don't want you to have that. JG says, ask Beavis. I get nothing. Butthead. Yep. Beavis and Butthead. Lily says, kidding, all for fun. Yeah. And we have to be careful, just like with Trump. Okay, my best friend does not like Trump, and I feel, this is just me, he did not tell us to go drink bleach. He was just kind of thinking out loud. I think, like, what about this? Can we do it? Would that be a good idea? Does it make sense? And she's like, he told people to do it. I'm like, no, he didn't tell people to do it. And she's like, well, he's responsible because people thought it was a good idea. So I don't know. So just want to make sure that I'm not misunderstood. John says, I didn't react back to my neighbor today. I'll just let housing authority know what he did today. And that's the best thing. If it's something that can be handled outside of us, we don't need to get involved. Walk away. If they're bad mouthing you, just don't react, and that squashes it. And I keep telling the kids at school, shh, stop, just stop. And it does settle it down. But when you keep interacting, it keeps that argument going, and it escalates it, keeps it going, and it fuels it. That if you just go gray rock, what was it? Was it Kalibi? Who was it's not iconic. What was the word you used? Stoic. Stoic. Who used the word stoic? That was a very good word. Um, Now you have a notepad to write down quotes. Awesome. We're ready, guys. Flood this page with some quotes. I kept telling you the one that we had at my school that was up on the wall. That Chinese proverb is so true. It goes through my head very often. Be careful of your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your destiny. And it is so true. It is so true. And we have to take control over our thoughts. Um, and then our words will come out better because our words do become our action. Um, that's why, this manifestation type stuff, if you change your thoughts and keep them positive and keep them, it's interesting how you say it in the present tense and it leads you to that being in your future tense. It's wild. They also say too, you shouldn't really tell people your goals. Once you tell your people your goals, a lot of times you don't achieve them. And I think that it's kind of like a control thing. Like I almost like people, maybe you feel their pressure or you don't want to let them down or whatever. So I don't know. I know there's times that I walk past light fixtures or an open cabinet and I'm like, why am I walking past it? Just and I think it's like a control thing in my own house. I'm showing myself I have control. And I wonder if it dates back to when my father was always so uptight about us turning off the lights. I've been broken into many times. I had just a buddy female friend spend the night in the extra room and she was like, I was going to ask you, you always leave your lights on. Why do you always leave all your lights on? And she says, does that have something to do with when you've been broken into? I've been broken into so many times that, yeah, the lights stay on. All the bathrooms, probably about 60% of my lights stay on. And, but it is, I notice there's certain times that I like fight myself. It's almost like a little mini power struggle with myself. Don't pick it up. Why did you do, like, what's the big deal? Or go get the mail. Nope, I'm not getting the mail. I can get it later. It's dumb, but it's like, this is so dumb, an internal argument with myself. So Lily, I'm glad you had that notepad. I do too. Kalibi, you are correct. They love to fight. And Kalibi, first quote, see an arc, see a three-eyed monster, do ignore. There you go. So thank you for the first quote that we have. JG says to Kalibi, women narcs or male? Oh, either one. They both can be male or female, you know, and either one can be devastating to you. So Kalibi says, and I suspect we had 3 sets of narcs, couples and a couple of their flying monkeys. And that's a lot for one place. Yes. And Kalibi says, sad to say, these narcs are all well off financially. Of course, they are all greedy with money. However, I haven't seen them donate to charity. Interesting. And that's the thing, like sometimes people with money become entitled. They'll act different. Like, give me the service. They can get snooty, snotty. They feel that all I got to do is give you a tip and you guys owe me. I control you and you have no idea what the tip even is. JG says, Cynthia, pull the email up from your phone. You can screenshot them or download them and then Instagram message. It takes me a little bit of time with that, and I have to take my focus off of the other people that have joined here. So I will do that at least by tomorrow. I know you're excited about it, but I have to go through different things and my phone sucks. So it'll be a little more. And they are snooty. You're right about that, Cynthia. And, sometimes too, if you think about it, they might also develop a paranoia about them because they think that people only want them for their money. So their wealth, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate, can cause a paranoia within them, and kind of change their self-esteem. So this is about basically self-esteem if you think about it. Our needs are based on um, optimal self-esteem, that everything works out if we have optimal self-esteem. So they have money and now they see people flocking to them. So they're going to be paranoid. These people only like me for my money, and they also might utilize that. Like, I don't know, I have a birthday party coming up and I'm a little afraid that only 6 people will show up. So I'm going to, I don't know, hire a band and have it catered and do all this. Have a pool party, make sure I rent out whatever, and they will use that as well. So it changes their self esteem. Then they become addicted to the money. Then they're going to want more money, and then they're going to become cutthroat if they are not at optimal self esteem. But yeah, thank you, Calibri. Lily says I might run out of room, but here goes for the quotes. Excellent. Valhalla. Valhalla. I want everybody to do me a favor. Can you guys do this? Do this right now. Spell image and then say light bulb. I am a GE light bulb. You look like a light bulb. And yeah, not everybody donates to charity. Not everybody donates to charity. My father, who had the biggest heart in the world, donated to charity and was burnt. That Jim Baker, Tammy Faye, donated a lot. And he got screwed over. He donated a lot of money. And it's sad that people take advantage of really good people. And it's amazing how much, like a lot of money, a lot. And um, uh, he had a really kind heart too. He didn't take what he didn't feel he deserved. Like, he had a $50,000 bonus that he turned away. Almost caused my parents to get a divorce. It's in his contract, I think, through Ford Motor Company, that he can't accept gifts. And he did such a good job at the OPEC, air quality control world, whatever, that this one company really appreciated his information, and he had to turn it away. He probably could have taken it, nobody would have known, but uh, he was very honest. Building a sundial, huge. That would be cool. So JG, yeah, there's times I give to charity, but I don't, not that much, not that much. I'd rather specifically give to people, because a lot of charities, unfortunately, aren't on the up and up, and some are. So the Red Cross, yeah, your dad gave huge to the Red Cross. And you can even give, donate blood, things like that too. My life was saved because of blood donations when I had that miscarriage. Um, it did. It saved my life. My father had to have blood transfusions. I want to say it was every 2 days for a long time. So it saved his life too. So thank you to anybody who's ever donated. JG says tons of people want to drive you nuts because they are losers. It just keeps them busy, and somebody to spend time with you. It's not a good way to spend time with someone, but it ingrains them in your head. You'll be in their memory, or they will be in your memory. It's not a good one. Oh, positive. Ooh. Now, are you sure? Because you probably are. But a lot of people think that their blood type is O, but you added the positive, so you probably know. Plus, you have 3 kids. But they'll see where it says type on their driver's license. If it says type O, that means it's an operator license. So don't get that confused. Crazy Bear says, "Oh, negative." You did meant. Oh, you just retracted it, but I read it. Speedy Cindy. Lily says, "If you alter your behavior because you are frightened of how your partner will react, you are being abused." Yeah, and or we just don't have the right, sometimes, Lily, that's a great point, but sometimes we could have a low self-esteem in something that it's not even their fault. It's not their fault. You know, if they're like, I don't know, uh, I don't I don't even know how to say it where, uh, to think of an example. But you could have somebody really supportive and saying, "Hey, oh my gosh, you passed your test. You want to go out for a hot fudge sundae?" And then you're like, "Oh, you're testing me. You want to see if I'm going to break my diet?" And I don't even know how to say it when they just meant, "Oh, I thought we could go out and celebrate." Not the best example because you could probably tear that apart. But I think you guys get the gist. Where um, some people, if they're not, but you're right. A lot of times, that's the walking on eggshells, and that is a good sign of abuse. So, Lily, you are correct on that. So, we got lots of, I got an AB negative, A plus plus, um, AB negative. So, females, if you have that negative RH factor, be careful. You have a higher incidence of your children being born deaf. I learned that in my sign language class. Also, there is some, like I believe there's shots that you can take because it can lead to a higher infant mortality. So something to remember if you have negative, that RH factor being negative. They could be deaf or higher incidence, but there is a way to take care of that. So Clebe says, I go through my cupboards and fill up donation bags, canned food that I'm not using. It's just a process for you annually. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm getting ready to get rid of a lot of stuff. Um, and yeah, that would be good to, and I'm talking like clothes and stuff like that. But yeah, things that we can get rid of. It doesn't cost us anything. And I used to love it when people would come through the neighborhood because they had like cans for Christmas every now and then. And it was probably the high schoolers that came around trying to collect some cans. And oh, that was the best. I do not like beans. And we would always be so generous. Yeah, just a minute. Let's. mom, mom was sleeping because she was a nurse, worked at night, and dad was still at work. And we're like, yeah, take all the beans. We were good at donating. Samantha says, I've been told many times as I go to prenatal visits. Yeah, if you but how's it go? You are this is the thing. You're a universal donor, but you are not a universal recipient. You have to have an exact match. So you can donate to anybody. So we're going to be best friends. Can't help you out if you need anything, though. So that's something to be aware of. You're not a universal recipient. So you are definitely prized. Uh, if anything goes, which is kind of nice. If anything ever happened to a family member, you could donate. Um, JG, frightened because you are damaged. Yeah, perfect way to put it. Yes. So it's not always our person who damaged us. It could be something that we're bringing into the relationship. That's why, thank you, JG. That's why going into a new relationship, we have to make sure that we're not not with baggage. So excellent point. That is what I was trying to get across. But Lily has a great point. So do you, JG. So that's exactly what I was trying. I'm seriously not damaged. I find it all fascinating. It is fascinating. The more you get into it, like I'm addicted. My voice is going. Sorry, guys. Give homeless people solar panel chargers. And if we could do that, if we could give them even just a solar charged blanket, nice heated blanket for them. And what's really sad is, you know, how we don't take care of ourselves. Looney Tunes saved me while under 12. And how so? How so? JG says, I'm sorry, John says, I've handed out money and got food for some homeless people around my area. Be careful with the money. Be careful with the money. Um, that you don't become a target for money. There was times I wanted to give money, but I was too afraid to open my purse. There were times too that I did, and I gave, I don't know, a $5 or $10, but they saw the $20 bill and they got real angry with me. And be careful on that. Don't let them see what's in your wallet. Um, And I feel, make sure that, if they need food, I've bought food for people. I feel more comfortable. The thing with alcohol, though, is some people are like, they're just going to spend it on drugs or alcohol, but you can actually die if, can't remember which drug, but alcohol, if you cut it cold turkey, people can die from that, so. Calibri says we have several food banks in the area, like Northwest Harvest and St. Mary's Food Bank. There's something Angel. Uh, there are food banks, so if you know anybody struggling, you can refer them to that too. Maybe even give them $2 for the bus or $6, whatever it costs now. Um, there are things out there that people want to help. JG says I gave non-alcoholic beer to some homeless locals in Orlando. They were hyped. Yeah, sometimes, if that's a true story, sometimes they just want the taste or something to drink, but um, it is something, it's an addiction, and when things get tough, things can get violent or out of hand or sneaky. It's a survival technique. John says it feels good to help those in need. And good point, but that's where we have to be careful as well. I got another thumbs up, I think. Thank you. Is that not to give too much. If you guys came to my door, I can give you some food for a day or two. But if I give you all my food, where does it leave me? So, and then it could build up resentment in me, and anger, whatever. So give what you can, but don't overgive. And that's like a metaphor for emotions. If you give away all your emotions, there's times you're going to need something. And that's kind of where we start having a little resentment towards our person. And then whenever we're going to talk to them, they're like, what the fuck? Now you resent me, but you gave me all this stuff and I didn't ask you to do it. How many of you raise your hand? I didn't ask you to do that. Have you heard that? Narcissists love to use that. We give them some love and I didn't ask you to do that. And we're like, I did it in a loving manner, Oh, I went grocery shopping. I know you said you were talking about doing that on Saturday, but I thought, I'll take that off your plate. Oh, I didn't ask you to do that. As opposed to that was really sweet of you. And then it knocks you down. And so JG says to Lily, not directed at you, Lily, if I won the lottery, I'd give away mega amounts to people in need. And that'd be amazing because a lot of the people that do win, somebody else gave me a thumbs up. Hooray, hooray. Makes me smile. Thank you. That a lot of people, it makes them worse off in the long run when they win like a mega lottery, that they lose everything, you know? Um, they start out middle class, whatever, and they live the high life. They become addicted to it. They become foolish. They have people scamming them, and a lot of them can end up homeless. It's crazy. Sometimes our biggest blessings are our worst. Uh, what's the word? Curse. I always say that, you want to see my basement? You want to see my biggest blessing? You want to see my closet? My biggest blessing? It's my curse. It's a mess. It's too much. I can't stand it. It brings me down. So I just want to get rid of some of my blessings, pass those on. I sometimes too much, and Lily says, okay, JG, thought you meant me. JG says, it feels good to see people hyped to be helped. And yeah, it's nice when they are very thankful. We have to remember too, if they are homeless and beaten down, a lot of times they feel shame. They don't want to look at you. They've been treated really poorly. How people treat each other really makes a difference. I brought up that one lady who I need to do her. Let me write that down. uh, 2 years as a man. She lived 2 years as a man, and how horrible people were to her, that she committed suicide. And I wish I could remember his name because I'm trying not to remember his name. Is it Carl? Carl or Kyle? Who was the Idaho murderer that killed the 4 people? He there's some more coming out about him, where he was kind of mocked and made fun of. He got turned away by this one girl, Kim, and they were saying that one of the two girls kind of reminded him of her. He was, what is the word? A Oh, it's incel, involuntarily celibate, where he didn't wanna be celibate, he wanted to get a little freaky, but he just didn't have any choices, and, they think that has a lot to do with the murders. So, Kalibi says, also giving them cash would just encourage them to buy alcohol or drugs. Yeah, um and this is where, the alcohol thing, though, is that they could die, but you don't wanna encourage it either. So, it gets a little tricky. Um, John says, "I am very careful, Cynthia. I don't do that very often." Yeah, I don't want you being a target. It's better to give them food, maybe a blanket or, things like that. Um Oh, frightened because of nervousness. If you're talking about, did you read the first quote about intuitive, etcetera? Intuitive. I don't think so. You might have to retype it. I'm scrolling up too much. Uh, yeah, I'm not seeing it. You might have to retype it. And I scrolled up. If I scroll up too much, then it gets too confusing for me. I don't know where to scroll down to. So please retype that about intuitive. And um, I didn't see that. JG says it's 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you react. Oh yeah, yep. A lot of times you're right. That definitely makes sense. And Lily, I like that. I like that, JG. Lily says, I mean, it's human nature to act different, kinda, with different people. But if it's in terms of that quote, then it's bad. Um, if they say narcissists act like completely different people, and uh, around their coworkers, around their bosses. Um, and I think we need to also uh, realize sometimes healthy people will, or maybe somebody who is depressed for a while, that they're acting happy. Maybe in that moment they are happy, and it's not necessarily a mental illness or a difference in personality, but if it's used for manipulation or a facade, that's the difference. You can be happy in the moment, but if it's a facade, and the narcissist, they don't know who they are, so they're gonna be a chameleon. It's not like, "Oh, I'm so excited. This is the first time I've ever gone water skiing," and they're happy when they've been depressed for a while. We have to understand what the person's going through too, who they truly are. Um, JG says, "Yeah, I'm just posting quotes ingrained in my head. And if they have a powerful meaning to you, there's an emotion tied to it, and that's why it sticks in your memory. That's why the narcissist doesn't have as good of a memory or recollection on the exact things that happen, is because there's no emotion tied to it. If there is an emotion, it's going to be a negative emotion most of the time. And Leila, I love how your brain works. And JG, you're giving some real good advice tonight too. JG's And Kalibi says, just like giving the narcs free labor and volunteer tier for their setup programs, knowing now, I tell them no, busy, no time. Yeah, sometimes it is just to use you. Yeah, and we don't need to participate. Are they gonna reciprocate? And oh, Lily, thank you. What's my good point that you're making good points? Nathan says, "Hi, Cynthia. We were wondering where you were." Class started a little while ago. Good to have you here. Yeah, that's okay because that way sometimes I'm late. No, you guys can pop in whenever you get the chance to. I don't know what I just did, but Nathan, thank you so much for joining us. We adore you, and we're so glad that you're here. Lily says, anyone watch those shorts like Jimmy Darts they give to people? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Oh, is it true though? Oh, there's some guy. I want to say he's black. I a tall guy who gives away a ton of food. He was cooking spaghetti today. It looked like he made sub sandwiches. If that's who you're talking about, that's amazing. Um, I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about. JG says, give a homeless guy a can of bug spray in the summer. They'll be stoked. Kalibi says, hello, Nathan. JG helping elderly people. Some lady fell on the bus. I caught her before it got bad. Good job. Yeah, sometimes just helping people um, is amazing. It makes a difference in somebody's life. And give a homeless guy a can of bug spray in the summer. They probably would be stoked, you know. Nathan says hi to Calibri. Sam says, my Nathan, glad to see you. Nathan says, hi, Sam, my girl Sam. Nate, Nathan, Sam's asking you how your day has been. And Nathan says, "You know, I wouldn't miss it for the world, Cynthia. You've been very loyal. You guys have we have a great group of people here." And Nathan cleaned all day long. My mommy's just says that she's happy to see me today. Nathan says, "What's up, brother John?" And Sam, I've you seen Jimmy Darts on YouTube. What does he look like? I'm trying to figure out who he is. John says, "Not much. Finished up on my mantis suit attachment today." Nathan wants to know how your day was. And JJ, you're out of here. All right. So, JG, thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again. Thanks for being here. Excellent advice tonight. Thanks for the quotes and communication and everything. Samantha says, good. I'm glad to hear you had a good day, Nate. Lily says, yes, he gives people money. Oh, okay. So this is a different guy. If they do something silly, he asks, and if they go along with him, he's great. Search Jimmy Darts. He's hilarious too. Trying to remember which one I've seen. I have seen some. Uh, I'll have to look up him because I know some will, um, do you want to pay it forward and all that stuff. So Nathan's asking how the littles are. And John says, see you soon, JG. Yeah, we always love our little group here. And um, yeah, some inspirational quotes. But I really you wrote that quote again. Jimmy Dart is cute, but most of all, a big heart and funny. Which I don't know which quote you're talking. But I'll have to look him up. I'll have to look him up. I might know who he is. I think he has dark hair. Um, and sometimes you want. I think there are a couple people that really are legit. There are people that make a lot of money off of YouTube to where they can pay it forward, and then it encourages people to donate more. It's kind of like the objects in motion, and even with it's energy, the stronger dominant personality is what's usually going to win out. And a lot of times too, that's why they tell you to live in the present moment, to up your self-esteem. That's when you win out. That's when like a sad person, if you're positive, like we can get through this, and if you stay the strong person, that's going to bring this person up. But if their emotion is stronger, it's going to bring you down. That's why we have to stay within ourselves to notice that this person might be having a hard time, but if we stay in our moment, we can lift them up. In these narcissistic relationships, we become so off balance. A lot of it too is because of the manipulation, that we think we can handle it in a healthy way, but the narcissist isn't healthy. And Sam says they're doing very good. I just gave them some late night ice cream. Yay. What kind of ice cream? Where do you live? I gotta go, guys. I'm going to Sam's. Nathan says, sounds real good, Sam. I'll take some late night ice cream with you. Oh, what's your favorite ice cream, everybody? I like, from Baskin& and Robbins, I like the mint chocolate chip, and I'm not sure if they changed it. I like the little tiny flakes where they overflake the chocolate. I don't like the big flakes of chocolate. I like them micro ones. Nathan says, Cynthia, I came in a little late. What were you talking about with the monkey branching? You missed that part. Um, you see it a lot. People who are like, yeah, they got married right after me. And, also there was one person who had said something about, you know, if your narcissist is already with someone that kind of like the gist of what he was saying is rest assured they're still hurting. That's why they're with somebody else. And, um, sometimes we have to be realistic that, the relationship was getting toxic. And, um, maybe it wasn't fulfilling their needs, or it wasn't fulfilling our needs. It just got toxic. The narcissist doesn't grieve like that. So they keep busy. Sometimes they grieve portions. A lot of times it's not so much us. It's certain body parts or just having somebody there, but not necessarily somebody in particular. That's why it's easy for them to move on. Um, but they've already secured the supply. They've already let go months before the breakup, uh, but they don't wanna give up, uh, they don't wanna put us into a backup plan until they secure something that's gonna be easier, a fresh start. Um, they have the curiosity of the unknown, but they wanna make sure, uh, but I gave an example of the hunter, and I was driving in my car, almost hit there's 2 deer. I was fairly close, of hitting them, and I thought if I was a hunter, would it have really mattered which one I hit? Because it would have served the purpose. I would have had some deer meat, and it's kinda like the narcissist, they're on this prowl, "Which one do I go after?" And, "Oh, that one got away. That one's fine. That one's fine," and that's kinda how their mentality is. As long as it's, healthy, viable, uh it'll do. And I think that's a lot of how narcissists are is, they have some criteria, but, if they can attain the best, like if I could have attained the bigger deer, but the other one, it'll work. So it's kind of something like that. Um, Aw, Sam always said, "No, you don't. When I come over to visit you and I eat all your ice cream, you don't." So she will always order more if I come visit. And Nathan says, "That's beautiful, Sam. Vanilla is his favorite." Lily says, "I read someone's comment today that said they manipulated the manipulator." Very poignant. Huh. And sometimes you can. Sometimes, um there are times you can manipulate the manipulator, but when you start doing that, that's when it's toxic and people aren't caring about themselves or caring about control. Lily says, I like pistachio or rocky road, but not a big ice cream eater. And Sam says, vanilla is my favorite too. Vanilla bean. Good stuff. John says, someone gave me some of their birthday cake today. Ah, was it leftover from Sam's birthday? Hot fudge is really good on top. I agree. And I worked at Big Boys and they used Hershey's hot fudge. So if you're wondering what kind of hot fudge, that's pretty good fudge, hot fudge. And I like it better than Smucker's. And Smucker's chocolate sauce or syrup, whatever the chocolate sauce, the hot fudge is better. But uh, Wheeler Nathan says, "Me too, Sam. My favorite." Jazz says, "Hell no, eating some now. Shared it with my pets. My dog loves ice cream." Nathan says, "But even being with a long-term supply, they still go through the same cycles." And that's exactly true. Uh, Dr. Grande that was talking about, I gave a statistic 56% of borderlines, 56% of their mates are personality disordered, and only 10%, according to Dr. Grande, 10% of the population has a personality disorder. So you would think only 10% on average is what it would be. So why is it so high? Actually, that's what I wanted to look up. I didn't have time. NPD versus percent healthy. I'll know what I mean. Um, I wanted to see because that was on borderline. And I wanted to see with the NPD how that is. What percent of people that have NPD pair up with somebody who has a personality disorder? Because sometimes we wonder, what is going on with us? And we're also wondering about the new supply and what's the toxicity rate, toxicity rate. I like that word, those words. So I will try to find that out. Uh, and get you guys up to date on that. But I thought that was quite astonishing that such a high rate personality disorders pair up out of yogurt. Yogurt's good. I like yogurt. Nathan says, "Is there actually any more big boys left anymore, Cynthia?" I believe so. There was. I never pay attention. Uh, I think so. Right by my parents. I don't know. They did a rehab on it. I have a antique big boy statue filled with coins. I think so. Those are the Elias brothers, also Shoney's. For those of you who don't know, they might not be in your area. I think so. And Nathan says, "Thanks, Lily. Hockey hawk? Not hockey cock? Hockey pock? Hockey. What is that popcorn? Poppycock. Poppycock. Culver's. Yes, I like the Culver's grilled chicken sandwiches. My friend's son, I teach him, and she also works at the school. And he came up to me, and he's like, "My mom wants to know, do you want to go to Clover's?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, Clovers, Clovers." He couldn't say it. So yeah, we're gonna go to Clover's, Culver's, hollyhocks. I don't know what hollyhocks are. Is that a flower or something? Part of a holly jolly Christmas? John says, "I'm glad I'm educated enough now that I can spot a narcissist miles away." Be careful, some of them are still sneaky though. But yeah, you definitely, John, will see a lot more red flags. Be careful too not to over hyper put narcissistic traits on somebody who isn't. So that's where we're still going to have a learning curve. Um, because we've been hurt, and sometimes our trust is really hurt. I see a lot of people shutting down where they're like, "I'm never going to love again, I'm never going to trust again." And we don't want to short ourselves on the love or uh, family or friend network that we're meant to have because one person hurt us. Don't change your life and your destiny because of being hurt one time. um, so uh, yeah, John, you are much more aware, that's for sure. And we gotta be careful with psychopaths and sociopaths. They're sneakier. Nathan says Lee Hammock releases at 4 videos a day. He pops on my YouTube channel. Wow, he gets off on his videos. There's times that I do quite a few. I don't know. He's a narcissist. I know who Lee Hammock is. He gets a lot of admiration from that. So he's never answered. He has a twin. I don't know if his twin has NPD as well. I'm kind of thinking not, based on the gist of what I'm getting from it. Um, and I don't know if they're identical either, but he's a twin. He does modeling, I think acting as well. I'm not sure about the acting, but he models and he does like a lot of skits on YouTube that are pretty spot on for the most part. He does get off on his videos, but I had said, he is a recovering or trying to heal self-aware narcissist, and he does say, "I don't want you guys," or is that but he's saying that, "Don't take my success as a guarantee that narcissists will change." It's really interesting. He'll say, "Stay away from us, go no contact." He does say he's in recovery. He did recently post a video where he had to settle himself down because his blood was boiling. He was about to rage on his wife. So he's getting a lot of supply. So Nathan, yes, he does post a lot. And a lot of people kind of stroke his ego. He even got a news spot on, I don't know which one, but like a public news channel. So he's being noticed. I'm sure it helps with his real estate business, facial recognition, and I think he does get some supply off of it. And I think that's why he's still married. If it crashed, if his YouTube crashed, uh, I think, like if he got canceled, I don't think that marriage would survive. I don't. He would lose his identity. He has an identity right now. Um, he has admiration, you know. So what's your take on him though, Nathan, on the information that he gives? And the reason I ask that is you see different self-aware narcissists, and they are kind of brilliant in a sense of the things that they know, the things that they know that they do wrong, the things that they can see happen. But when you're caught up in the moment, they don't analyze things. They don't watch their words. They, like he said, he's got that blood boiling, and um, that's when they go into all about them stage. But they love to lie, and it doesn't change the person. Um, Hollyhock seeds are in the mail via Amazon. I don't know what they're for. I don't know what they are. Wasn't there some like not good thing? Is that like the deadly poisonous things? Or is that a good thing? Nathan says Lee Hammock, sorry, must get his video supply off those videos. It's also getting his name out there, you know. Uh Maybe he thinks it might even help with the modeling gig. John says, I know enough about it that I can tell what kind of person I'm dealing with and not immediately think they're a narcissist. Yeah. And yeah, you do seem pretty spot on. Lily's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. She says, gotcha, John. Crazy Bear, 1881 corn and Sam image from China, real coins for $8 from. Oh, is I don't know. You like confusing me. Zenjo. Hi, Zenjo. You love my room design? Thanks. This is like in the middle of my living room. So yeah, I got the fireplace going. I tried to have like a waterfall, but it didn't work on my TV. So thank you. You like this better than the little kid decorations for when I teach? I wonder what I'm going to do. I am going to teach next weekend. Do I go back up into the classroom upstairs? So thank you, Zenjo. And aw. He says, hello, y'all. Please hit that like button to support our beautiful host. Oh, Zen. Yeah, and it does. It really helps. I appreciate that. Thank you. Because it does help with the algorithm, helps build this channel, and it brings people who can give you some more information too, other than just me, or helps with the conversation. So thank you. John says, I recently found some coins that may be worth something. Ooh, keep us posted. Crazy Bear, I'll send you one of anti-narc head on it. Who is that? Who is the anti-narc? Interesting. Samantha says, I think you're right. He must get supply. He's famous for it. So he's getting attention. I agree with you, Cynthia. And that's the thing, like to be honest with you, I'm on this channel too, and it is nice. It is nice building friendships. It is nice finding pride in your work. So I enjoy it too. But I'm single. I'm not taking away from a family life. Granted, I may be taking away from my possibility to date somebody. But he has kids, he's married, and this takes a lot of time. Basically, I go to work and I do this, and maybe a couple little, run to the store or do laundry or do a couple little research things. It takes a lot of research. I spend several hours researching a day. Um, and so he does a lot more edited videos than I do. I'd like to get into that. So I give him props on that. Um, but it's taken away from his family, and he was facing divorce. He cheated on his wife, and she had left. And is it getting it through his head? What's more important to him? Now I could see an hour or two, and he's had her uh, do some of these live chats. I don't think she wanted to do these. She did not seem comfortable. I think you guys get a feel that I'm, comfortable doing this, but she was like, I don't know if I want to answer that. And, um, Ben Taylor uh, had his, or she was a little more comfortable. I'm talking about Ben Taylor's wife. I'm mixing them up now. But yeah, it's Ben Taylor's wife that was uncomfortable because he's another one too, raw motivations. And the numbers are going to be off. He charges somewhere around 150. It was either 140 to 175. And I think maybe it's both. One was an hour, one was an hour and a half. But those numbers, it was high dollar for some time with him. And his wife was like 30 bucks. And so she had done a couple videos. Which one was it? They're both. I'm just being honest. It was one of their wives that was uncomfortable. So they're doing it, both of them, in kind of the same situation. Both of them, extreme amounts of social media. And, is it helping with their family life? They both have kids, they both have wives that rocky relationships. I don't go to a therapy session, so that's more time, which I give them props. They should do that, but that's more time away from home. So how much time do they have with their family? You know, and that I don't know. Lily says I don't know one narc that would self-admit they're a narc. And that's the thing, like, my channel's growing, but I think if I said I was a narcissist and I acted like an asshole and told you all these sneaky, sly things, it's working for them. It is working for them. It's almost like financially for YouTube. If I was a YouTuber, it would make more sense. Uh, but I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be me. But it seems they get a lot more, their channels grow a lot quicker. Not all. You got Dr. Romani out there. Some people wonder a little bit about her. I'm not sure that Steve Grannon, he's changing. I'm trying to understand him a little bit. But Sam Backman, he's like top dog, and he is the biggest narcissist out there. So, uh, if this is the thing, Lily, is they're admitting it because um, they'll profit from it. So, this is a dumb example, but let's say I didn't want to admit I'm plus size. I'm a size 8, and then we're like, we'll give you a modeling job if you wear whatever size. And then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I am heavy, or I'm not heavy, but it's an example of um, my self esteem doesn't want me to tell you, but oh, I get a benefit out of it. Yeah, I will tell you. I will go along with it. I will um, make myself that way. So I hope that analogy made sense because some will if it gives them, uh, you know, um, an in, just like somebody who doesn't want to admit they're an alcoholic, but they're like, dude, we're having a poker party and getting smashed and no non drinkers allowed. Then they're like, cool, I'll drink. And then they admit to being a drinker, and other people, they won't admit to it. So, um, if I kind of disagree with that. In general, the majority won't admit. Um, but you have I never I want to call her Annika. It's not Annika. Anishka. I can't remember her. I think it's like Anishka. She's a sociopath, and she's getting a kick out of it. Like, yeah, I'm a sociopath, and she loves telling her dirty little secrets. Um, and she's also NPD, sociopath with narcissistic personality disorder. In general, they don't admit it. In general, they don't even know. And in general, they will tell us we're narcissists. So um, there are exceptions, is what I feel. John says all their insecurities are projected out onto others or kept secret. I agree. Uh, and you didn't say or kept secret, but when they are under pressure, they're going to project it out. Uh, John says, very true, Kalibi. Don't try to call them on it. I know, because it does no good. And then they're just going to go on the defensive and they're going to attack. Whenever they feel attacked, they're going to go on the, whenever they feel attacked, they're going to attack back. Kalibi says narcs won't admit that they are narcs, that always think they are perfect. That they would take that as, they'll definitely take it as an insult. It's best not to out them. Yeah, because they're not going to admit to it. Um, it's going to make it worse. They're going to start having animosities towards you. And Samantha says they know what they do is wrong because it's obvious, but they will still continue to belittle others because they feel they have a right to. Awful. And sometimes it's just impulse control and anger management that it's just going to happen, and they don't want to take control over it at that time. They just want to release what they're going through. Lily says, right, why waste your breath and energy? I one time texted a narc that he's a sicko, and I got his number on and on that I wanted to leave him sooner than I did. Was quite cathartic. Yeah, and they're not going to like what you say because it's in the negative, you know? And Kalibi says, by addressing the narc that they are, would make you their target. I'm glad you put that out there, Calibri, because you're right. That as soon as you be, the one that stands out is the one that's going to be a target. Just like I started thinking this too, like y- you know, have you ever heard of you know, how we're talking about like the monkey branching and like how special is the new supply? Um, and you can kind of relate it to high school. Like the guys wanted to sleep with the cheerleaders. Well, every year it's a new group of cheerleaders. Are they the prettiest girls all the time? There's a lot of pretty ones, but not always. Are they the smartest ones? Not always. Are they the funniest ones? Not always. Why are they being targeted? Because of their title. So there's something about the new supply that is something as superficial as a cheer uniform. Um, it doesn't mean those girls are better or worse than you. It just means uh, they get more focus. So there's something about them that stirs something as a challenge or as a notch on your belt or whatever it is that the narcissist is drawn to. And you're right. Why waste your breath? And the target is the one that stands out. So you're the one speaking out against them. You're the one that doesn't like what they're doing. Screw you. I'm going to put you back in your place, is kind of what it is. Lily says, and they thrive off of that sick power, Sam. And that's why you got to, you know, really be careful. Also, if you walk on your eggshells too much, it's going to make it worse. They're going to attack you. You know, if you're like, I'm just laying low. What the fuck? What the fuck? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying not to stir anything up. And people think Dr. Phil is a narc. What do you guys think about him? He was a dick. He pissed me off on one. Whoo, trigger. How you guys doing today? There was this one girl, and she was young. I don't know how old she was, 14 to 18, so we'll say 16. But she had some issues with her mother, and she was abused. And she got called on the show, and she had talked to, of course, they go through producers, and she comes onto the stage and sits down, and she's just, you know, kind of sits down, and she's like, I think he said, how are you? And she said, kind of like, I'm a little upset that I specifically said that uh, I didn't want, however she worded it, I specifically said not to have a certain guest that you're going to have. And he just reamed her a new one because he was like, nobody tells me what to do. You don't like it, you can leave. And which I guess, you know, it is his show, but he got all high and mighty on her. She's like 16 years old, and he's talking to her like shit. And you saw that video, and she was pretty polite. She really was pretty polite. And you know, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like, no, I don't want to leave, but I was told this. She's just trying to plead her case, and he's not listening to her. He's not letting her say it. Um, as opposed to, you know, I understand that. Why don't we say what's up? He's like, oh yeah. And these are not his exact words, but to get his attitude across. And he was a dick to her. no compassion. And, she's probably nervous. And, somebody brought up the fact maybe she signed a contract and she can't just walk off the stage. So some of his takes on things, some of the way he interacts with people, sometimes the way he harasses people, um, Dr. Phil's not always nice. So, uh, we all have ups and downs, good days, bad days. There was something about her. Does Dr. Phil have a daughter? Maybe he thought she was a little snotty teenager that brought him back to his little girl mouth and back. Um, Maybe he has a sister. I think, what do you guys think? Does he have a daughter? Oh man, I got my phone today. Does Dr. Phil have, we're going to do a daughter. So do you guys think Jay and Jordan, of course, I don't know if Jordan is a boy or a girl. Daughter Avery. Good. Can you now see that I can predict these things? Is that correct? They see here it says they have 2 sons together. All right, maybe I can't predict it. Dr. Phil's granddaughter. Do you guys know? I've heard that reference. A new supply is a toy to them emotionally. Yeah, fresh meat. 2 sons and Jay. Okay, I don't know. It's too much research to do while I talk to you guys. He has 2 sons is what I'm seeing, yeah. Okay, well, dang it. There goes my possible philosophy on it. But there's something that triggered him. And it could even just be the power. She's like, I set a boundary. And he's like, this is my show. You have no right to do that. They could have explained to her, like, this is the deal. But they gave her that gaslighting stuff. Like, well, maybe if, they gaslighted her and put her in a real uncomfortable situation. They weren't on the up and up with her. So thank you, Lily. Kalibi says, and Dr. Phil's wife seems a little off too. She acts like a cheerleader girl whenever I watch his show. She also dresses somewhat weird. Interesting. Um, Samantha says, good news. I got a counselor lined up with PTSD and trauma training sessions to help my case in court. Ah. Interesting. So is this like a counseling session or how to deal with post-traumatic stress? Are you getting your kids into some sessions that would help you show that you're going above and beyond for your kids? You might want to get the kids in. They will probably interview your 8-year-old. I don't know about the 6-year-old. The 2-year-old, most likely they won't interview. So your children will probably be interviewed for the adult or custody thing. At least the 8-year-old will. Not sure about the 6. 2 is going to be too young. And are they exhibiting signs of PTSD or trauma? They probably, well, you said one was kind of mouth and back now. Lily says, I wonder about the wife too and what goes on behind closed doors. And Samantha says, yes, I'm getting into sessions. I'm going to try to get my 8-year-old interviewed soon. Good. Lily says, that's great, Sam. Keep it to yourself. Yeah, because he's not going to like that. He is not going to like it. What are you thinking about your next moves are? Or are you going to ask them for some advice on that? So nobody knows but you. Okay. That's good. That's good. And this is the thing, your 8-year-old's probably going to say something. I talked to so and so today. Like if your husband's like, how was your day today? And you can't tell, like you can't mess with your kid either. Like, shh, can't tell daddy. That's going to fuck with your kid's head too. So you can't say, we can't tell, we got to keep secrets from dad. So that'll come bad in court and then with him. Yeah, Lily just said that too. So John says, I'm glad for you, Sam. So how are you going to handle that? Because that'll have backlash. And also if you tell the kids to keep it a secret, that's not going to look good in the court's eyes. You're keeping, you're telling the kids how to treat your I don't know. That's hard. Nathan says, I think he's doing it to bring awareness what is, but also I think he's doing it for attention and fame in the spotlight like a narcissist does. Oh, he feeds off it. There's times that he does a good job sometimes. Sometimes you're like, okay, that makes sense, or he's helping. Um, but he kind of bullies the people into, guilt trips them into things. And um, some sometimes he there was one case where the mom uh, sometimes too, this little girl, I don't even know how old she was, like 4 to 6, 7 years old, probably 5 to 6 years old, maybe 7. We'll say 6, but she felt really abandoned by her mom, and her mom went on the run because of the cops. Had like a warrant out for her, and that's why she left the kid. She didn't want to go away to jail, and so the little girl's like, "Please, just, do what you have to do, and I love you." And the mom's like, "I'm sorry, I can't." And so uh, Dr. Phillip threatened to have her arrested, and he's like, "We can help you. All you gotta do is turn yourself in." And mom ended up booking. So he does the bullying thing too. It was probably a setup. Um, Nathan says, "I think he's doing it to bring awareness." Lily says, but that's positive news in the right direction for Sam. Yeah. John says, narcissists are legends in their own minds. Pretty much, pretty much. And if they're not the biggest legend, they'll add to it. And John says, I'm sorry, Samantha, yes, only I will go then for now. They will help prove a professional standpoint of what is going on here. Yep. And Sam says, absolutely, Nathan. Lily says, perfect, Sam. And Nathan says, I'm proud of you, Sam. And ask for resources. They'll probably have more resources in your town that can help you, some advice. And I'm glad you made sure that they deal with the PTSD. Now, this is the thing. Did you say, I know you said PTSD and trauma, but did you say with narcissists? You didn't. Here's the thing, Sam. Here's the thing. Listen up, listen up. You did say PTSD. It's actually CPTSD that we go on, which London Bridges, what a cool name. Thank you. I appreciate that. But so PTSD and CPTSD are pretty similar, but we're probably going through CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is over a long period of time. So they could probably still deal with your issues. It is also trauma that we've gone through, but trauma and PTSD is different. I'm a burn victim. That's a trauma. My friend who got bombed over across seas in services, that's a trauma. Um, and narcissistic abuse is different. Narcissistic abuse is different. Somebody who was starved is a long-term thing, but that's the only thing that was happening. It might not have been the extra stuff. The narcissist, the way with the gaslighting and the crazy making, and not knowing what our reality is, missing red flags, the lower self-esteem, all those kind of things. So relationship abuse and trauma informed. Okay. And why are you laughing that he says I'm a very beautiful woman, Lily? I think you like his name too. Is that I don't even know. I'm assuming it's a man. I'm assuming. London Bridges. Isn't that weird? You hear the word London Bridge. I don't know this guy. But it looks like a pharaoh. I like that, a pharaoh. That's sexy. So I like your facade. He's got a sexy pharaoh up there. So that's great, though. That's excellent news. So feel free to join in. We're having a great conversation. We've been on for like 2 hours now, having excellent conversation. And we had a buddy say you got to hit that thumbs up, helping with the algorithm. But see how it's bringing in new people. We have a great group of loyal people that you'll get to know. So if you guys are struggling with anything, definitely let us know because we're here to help. Samantha's making a lot of great progress towards her escape from her abuser, and she's got 3 kids. And, um, a lot of us have overcome a lot of things. We've had some great inspirational quotes. So, it's definitely a positive. Uh, Laughing that he said back off. So Lily says, laughing that he said back off, Nathan. Whoa, the exertion of dominance, little testosterone going on. Kalibi says, for my own protection, I watch videos and chats like Dr. Romani, and I got to check out Dr. Carter. I still haven't looked Dr. Carter up because that name escaped me. Um, it's become a daily routine for me, and that's good, to get the information that we want. Oh, somebody give me a thumbs up, thank you for that, because a lot of what we've been in the state of confusion for so long. What's going on with our relationship? What's going on with me? Am I at fault? Should I have acted that way? What happened? And then we start thinking possibly about the new supply, comparing ourselves and trying to figure out all these kinds of things that when we get the answers to this unsolvable problem. A little bit of information. Kalibi said, Dr. Les Carter. Okay, cool. Thank you. And I might have seen him, but it's not ringing a bell, so I might not have. That, sometimes it's just our time to kind of take care of ourselves, our daily mental exercise. That there's obviously something that we're searching for. I know I was searching for answers. Linda Bridge says, my mother is a victim of domestic abuse for 30 years. I love what you're doing here. Well, thank you. I appreciate your support. And how's your mother doing? Did you live with her? Were you able to see what was going on? Did it affect you? A lot of times it does affect the children. A lot of parents have stayed together, especially if this was like 30 years ago or more, that they stayed together for the children. And how did it turn out? Lily says, I watched them and they are great. So that's what we're doing. Yes, 100%. Some crazy things is what you saw, and it probably still affects you today. There's probably things you're wondering. A lot of times too, the kids feel it's their fault. um, and they feel helpless. They want to help mom in your situation, and they want to help dad in a different situation. John says, I'm noticing more awareness videos out on YouTube concerning narcissism, and uh, there is a lot more. It's kind of the latest fad in a sense. Um, and we have to be careful because a lot of people, you go on 2 dates with the guy or whatever your situation is, and he just doesn't call again. That's 2 dates, and people are like, he's such a narcissist. He ghosted me. No, he was rude and didn't call you back. He didn't want things to go any further. But we're talking like these long-term relationships that uh, you know, people are sometimes not calling the right people narcissists. They're just jerks. But you're right, John. There are a lot more. Samantha says, London, Nathan is my buddies. It's okay. Did I miss something? Sometimes I miss things. So yeah, Samantha is the one that's going through with her children too. And John says, cool people here. We have a good group. I love our group. That's why I've been logging on I think we've been doing this daily for close to a month now, and I want to keep it going. London says, I'm going to call you London. If that's okay, if you don't like it, let me know. I'm talking about the woman on the screen, Samantha. Oh, you're talking about me? Oh, so Sam's joining in the bandwagon. You're like, thank you. And you're saying, okay, you're awesome. You guys are adorable. Thank you. So I'm going to ask London Bridges. We were talking earlier. You missed it. Should I highlight my hair? Because it's getting dark. That was a little discussion. John says Cynthia is definitely a beautiful woman. Okay, cool. I'll call you London. Yeah, I give a lot of nicknames. You'll so you're part of the group now. That but Lily, Lisa, I know her real name, but she already gave herself, she beat me to the punch. She gave herself a nickname. I think there's more since Depp and Heard. Excellent point. And this is the thing. A lot of people thought that Amber Heard was a narcissist. You just kept hearing that over and over again. But she was actually bipolar, or I'm sorry, borderline and histrionic. And that's according to one therapist. Her psychological evaluation was done better than a lot of them, because a lot of times you can see through. But when you have to write out the sentences, like I said, people with mental illnesses will talk different ways. They'll see things different ways. I told you to, how to get through nursing school? Just Scantron. You just A, B, I think maybe C. So you could really see what was going on with her. And also, she kind of displays histrionic with her beauty and seduction and, you know, I have a feeling she probably sexually seduces because she likes men, and you could see that in that elevator that, and you think about it too, Elon Musk, richest man in the world, like, you know, we look different. I don't look exactly like Amber Heard, but is she that much more beautiful where she gets the richest man in the world? I don't think she's smarter than me. Um, so yeah, okay. Man, I guess some of the teachers at school, a lot of teachers got new hairstyles, and they're talking like months out for hairstylists. So I know your best friend calls you Lily. That's a perfect name. I like Lily. So yeah, okay. And Nathan says, Cynthia, I didn't know Anoshka. Is that OU? No, Anoshka was a sociopath. She does all those narcissist videos. Uh, Let me double check. That might be who. Blonde, a lot of makeup. She'll say I'm self-aware. Uh, Let me double check because that might be how she says it, or pronounces it. Let me see. How did you spell it? Um, yeah, I'll tell you. I just want to make sure it's the same person that we're talking about. No, no, that is not her. Okay. No, where is Diet? Hold on. No, not her. Wait, unless that's an ad. That's Khloe Kardashian. Uh, no, hold on. This is Khloe Kardashian. I'm not used to her with blonde hair. Oh, come on. Uh, Jeez. No, sorry, guys. Is she ethnic? Dark? Hold on. No, Anashka. It looks like she might be Hindu or Indian. Could be Muslim. Uh, no, a dark colored lady. I don't know. There's probably a lot. You're back. Oh my gosh, I've been muted. Oh, thank you. When I bump this, that's so frustrating. No, your phone's not broke. Oh, I'm going off on a tangent too. So thank you guys for sticking around and uh it's like the kung fu uh sit down. I was just doing my kung fu act. You remember those was that Bruce Lee? I don't remember who that was, but it was pretty funny. Sorry, guys. So, Samantha, you're holding your earplug. Thought it was on your end. At least I won't annoy you. I'm talking too much. Look at her talk, but muted. You guys are adorable. So now I got to double check, make sure. Gosh, I hate those things. I wish it didn't have that. So it's out again. Thanks. She knows. Not that much. Check the connections. Yeah, usually if I'm muted, it's usually not the connection. Sorry. She's teaching us lip reading. Yes, I can teach you sign language. You feel deaf. And that's the thing. I took English as a second language. I'm sorry. I took American Sign Language. And the first semester, A, B, like we're talking through it. Second semester, there is no talking at all. And rewind, exactly. But there's no talking, and it physically hurt my ears to sit there. It was a 3 credit, so it's 3 hour class. And I think I did it all in the same night. So you meet 1 day a week, and your ears literally hurt because you're trying to hear so hard. So, when we're missing certain things, it causes our body to go into a distress to overcompensate. So when we're going through this abuse from the narcissist, it starts taking away from us and we start hurting, physically hurting. So if you can think in 3 hours to have like severe earaches, um, good pronounced earaches. I wouldn't say severe, but pronounced earaches. So Samantha says, what you said there, it looked important. Oh, dang it. It wasn't. um, oh gosh, I'll fill it in with the things I said. Let me catch up too. You should try a wireless connection, Cynthia, so it doesn't unplug, so I don't cross my legs and disconnect. I have them upstairs. They didn't work. I went through the 2 pairs and they still don't work. And the people at the store couldn't get them to work. So I just said, screw it. I'm sick of spending money. But yeah, I got to figure something out. Those were a good chunk of change too. And so Sam says, I'm here, Nathan. John, it's all good, Cynthia. Happens to me a lot with tools. Yeah. Um, Crazy stuff. Sam says, I put my phone number up on screen just a minute ago for you, Nathan. Oh, Lily says, what was that when you grabbed your books? Am I the only one that saw that? LOL. Books, not books. Book, not books. um, yeah, I was on a roll too. You could tell I was getting all excited about something. Um, I think it's when I was actually grabbing my phone. Did you see my books? Because it might have been my I don't know. Um, but I was saying that the girl is a diagnosed sociopath, and she's just saying about all the different toxic things that she likes to do. She also has narcissistic personality disorder, and that there's a lot of different, it's like a common, or I don't know if it's common, but enough people have it out there. So I don't want to say that one person, uh, that spelling looks off to me. So I think it's somebody different that we're talking about. But you guys are quiet. Keep typing away, guys. And that's the thing. Sometimes I gotta scroll down. But London, has it been hard as an adult with the things that you've gone through? Because we're definitely here. Sometimes, like you guys were saying, searching for answers because we're trying to make peace with ourselves at this time. We're trying to understand. We're trying to protect ourselves, and a lot of us have guilt, and some of that guilt isn't justified. You know, um, it's terrible the things that the narcissist has done to us to have us so blindsided and devalued. and you didn't see that one. It might have been when I was looking at my phone. Not necessarily, not yet. Many times pain can hit you later in life. And I'm glad you brought that up, London, because that's the truth. Is it's your normal when you're growing up. You don't realize exactly what happened. And possibly when you're trying to do the opposite of, for London's case, what dad did, and you have triggers within your own children or, your mate or whatever, that it's gonna be an eye opener. And if somebody does you wrong, it's really gonna hurt you in a way. So hopefully, you stay strong. And we were talking about the different energies. You stay in the right energy, have the right kind of self esteem, the right kind of people will be around you, your boundaries that you put up naturally because you have optimal, not over the top, but optimal, realistic self esteem. It balances itself out. I was doing more thought today when I was driving. The uh, the balances that I was talking about, where it's 1 to 5 and then 11 to 1, that sweet spot. If it's too much positive to negative, 11 to 1, it's going to fall apart. That's when they become entitled, devalue. And then the one negative to every five positive. It's just not enough positivity, that it's not worth maintaining. And people run from that. Get some sleep. Are you talking to me? Tell me to go to bed. um, it's 10 o'clock, isn't it? You get some sleep. How's that feel? um, so yeah, it definitely takes time to unfurl itself throughout life, and get some sleep is something that's good too, though. When we're struggling with things, the right kind of sleep, the right kind of food, the right kind of exercise. Lily says the two thinking places when you're driving and when in the shower. Exactly. And I do. Uh, and also when I was sewing, when I had my sewing business, uh, it was kind of sad. I did a lot of dance wear where we use lycra, which is like swimsuit material, and that's when I was like at a real low, getting screwed over, in that devaluation stage. Um, Off tomorrow, so night owl night. Oh, there you go. I am off tomorrow. Yeah, that might be what you're talking about too. Is tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. Um, oh gosh, what was I just saying? Uh, Oh, so I'm sewing and, thinking, getting lost in my thoughts. And, I'd start crying. It pissed me off so much. Not only the crap I was going through, but the way that fabric is if you get a water spot on it, it'll leave a water spot on it, especially with like salt in your tears. It just leaves a water spot, even if you got fresh water. So it's not necessarily I got dirty eyes. But I have to remake these costumes over and over and over again. Um, and it's different. Like if you wash it, it's not like fresh fabric. Like the clothes you buy aren't, uh, freshly washed, or sometimes you got to be careful that it's not going to bleed or dull the sequins. It cost me so much, emotionally and financially. That was, it's almost like I couldn't work. I had to like sit there, and every now and then it's still, that was sad. So while cooking also, says Sam. And so yeah, some of us have Martin Luther King Day off. And John says, I'm pulling an all-nighter myself. I didn't say I was doing that. But yeah, normally I would log off at 9. Yeah, tonight's a special treat. All-nighter. Why sleep? Why sleep? It's um that's true, why? Because you'll see Dixie. If we stayed on all night, she'd go over by the steps. She is passed out. She could sleep all day long, and then there's something in her where she's like, time for bed. Let's go cuddle upstairs. Um, so unfortunately, I don't think I'll be pulling an all-nighter, trying to stay on somewhat of a schedule because I do have class on Tuesday. But you will see, even us, if we don't get enough sleep, I get more agitated with the kids when I'm not fully rested. You get more sensitive to things, and um, keep that vibration up, you know, uh, and Perspective. Perspective means so much. JG, John, your sleep schedule out of whack. I think John, are you a night owl? I usually am, but not when I teach because I got to be careful that I don't sleep through alarms, and that's a downfall for me. So now I got to figure out when to do my hair. Still going on weekends to see my mom, and that's going to go on for another couple weeks, and then even after she's out, uh, definitely got to keep track of her. I'm interested to see. I know London, you weren't here when that Eric was giving me a hard time. John says, not really. I've stayed up late for years. I always get a good night's sleep, though. Lily says, sleep when you're tired and can't keep your eyes open. That's true. Yep. That's your body telling you it is time to go to bed. Samantha says, Nathan, what time do you get up in the morning? Yeah. And it helps me too if I know what time you guys usually go to bed. I'll probably kind of keep it that 6 o'clock schedule for doing the lives. I'll have to adjust it every now and then. But um, do you guys like the late night weekends or you prefer keeping it 6 across the board? I know tomorrow's gonna be tricky for me. I was wondering possibly mid-afternoon or early morning. I do have a friend coming over, bringing me dinner, and then I gotta teach. So I can either do, I don't know, maybe at 9 o'clock. I don't know. I got to teach. We'll have to play tomorrow by ear. It might be during the day, and then back again at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. You guys just have all this energy. Yeah, you're a night owl. Best sleep is falling asleep around 8:30 to 9. That's when I get the most like real rest. If I don't go to bed at that time, I get a second wind and then I am up till super late. So I like staying up late though. I don't feel good during the midday. Like that's when my biorhythms are off. Um, it's just a downtime for me, a quiet time. So you wonder too, like, does that have something to do with like when your mother was pregnant with you? What kind of sleep schedule did she have? Uh, in the morning, JG, or night? Yes. Waking up at 5:30 and no alarm in the morning. My dad did that. I cannot do that. That's amazing. You've probably been doing that for years too. Whatever works for me, Cynthia, you say, John. Yeah, I'm gonna play it by ear. Check your notifications. I don't know exactly what's going on tomorrow because I got a couple errands to run. Um, maybe when I find out when my friend's coming over, maybe at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock would probably work. So we're gonna aim tomorrow for 4 to 5 o'clock EST. Uh, unless I change my mind. Tomorrow's a flexible day for me. But do you get up and out or go back to sleep? Oh, good question. We'll wait for JG's answer before we log off. Um, I have a feeling he gets up. I have a feeling. So, John, you're always so flexible, such a good support. And London, we hope to have you join us. We'd love to have you here again. And we had somebody else who was helping me. I got to try to remember the name. We got Calibri. So if you can join us again, that would be amazing. That would always be super sweet. So thank you guys, Crazy Bear. And I'm trying to remember your name. You were the sweet one who said, give me some thumbs up. Oh, I wish there was an easier way to look at everybody. But thanks so much for everything. John says, your hamster April woke you up the other morning. She wanted playtime early. Aw. And Lily says the dog wakes you up early. Yeah, Dixie's a night owl too. Well, she also sleeps all day, but yeah, depends on when the bladder calls. But she has a pretty good bladder. So I can sleep 12 hours. When I had COVID, uh, I don't know, her body adjusted to mine. Like she would go, there's times I would go 16 hours and just sleep and then have to get up. April. Oh. So uh is April your dog? What's April? Oh, April, the hamster. I thought you were saying too. So that's sweet. And you never told me, John, do they stay? What do they stay in? Did you tell me if they stay in a cage or they're free roam? Fell asleep. Hammy. I know. Hammy the hamster fell asleep. Good morning, JG. Sleeping. Am I that boring? It's a subliminal message. Take me to bed. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming and all the love and support. So, topic requests are always welcome. And there's little April sending lots of love. All right, guys, have a fantastic evening, and I will see you sometime tomorrow. So, I don't have a concrete time for tomorrow. It's um, unplanned for me, so I don't know how to plan around the unplanned. But probably 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe 3. Are you warm and tucked in? Hmm. I'm not yet. Good night, all. Thanks, guys. So good to see you. Bye.